Hi guys, welcome back to the final instalment of the How to Pace video series from Steve Kalclash Fitness, okay? And it's how to pace 10k for either a race or a PB, okay? So 3 strategies for a 10k PB. Number 1, and let's go with everyone's favourite, slightly different from the 5k, it's the balls to the wall suicide strategy, okay? And for a 10k you have to realise that it's no longer a short, sharp event. You're starting to come more into the endurance now. It's 10,000 meters, okay? 10k, 6.2 miles. So for a suicide strategy, you have to be a little bit more insane. And I must admit, again, this is sort of instinctively Steve Kalclash's go-to strategy. I haven't done many 10k only races. Normally my 10k race will come as part of an Olympic distance triathlon, okay, so I don't tend to do many running specific 10Ks, running only 10Ks. I've done only one in which I came 19th out of 2,000 to 3,000. However, most of them, as I say, come in the form of triathlon. Suicide strategy definitely hurts, and you essentially run off faster than your anticipated PB pace. Okay, and you try and hold that for as long as possible. The advantages of doing that are you get to that 5k mark, you're probably running at similar to a 5k pace, not quite. That would be suicide. Okay, so slightly slower than a 5k pace, but faster than the 10k pace. You get to that 5k mark and you start to feel really tired. Okay, but you look down at your watch. You see that you're on for a good time, you dig deep, mental fortitude, and you just press on and you keep going. And the likelihood is that you will start to slow down, but the inspiration, the thing that keeps you going is looking at that watch and knowing that you're on for a good time, knowing that you're ahead of a lot of people, and not wanting them to overtake. If you've got that mental strength, you know, you're either going to start seeing people overtaking you, you're going to either let that break you down and slow you down, or you're going to let that fire you up and keep you going no matter how hard it hurts. You dig deep and you keep going. That is it's always a Steve Kalclash favourite, okay, but it's not necessarily the most sensible strategy for your PB, okay. Strategy number 2. Strategy number 2 has to be negative split. Of course, for a 10k, as I said, it is slightly more of an endurance event. So therefore, it takes a little bit more planning, a little bit more strategy, and you do have to respect it a little bit more. Okay, so negative split means you start off your first 5k slightly slower than your intended goal pace, and the second 5k slightly faster than your intended goal pace. Okay, what that means is you get to the halfway mark, the first 5k, you should be, if you've paced it correctly, feeling pretty fresh in order to drop the hammer for the final 5k. And if you are feeling good at that and you've paced it correctly, you should be feeling really fantastic. What that means is you really drop the hammer and you start flying, okay? In that final 5k, you absolutely hammer it. You start reeling people in, you're overtaking people, you're feeling good, you feel the rush of the crowd going, and it's all good, okay? That strategy takes a lot of mental strength and a lot of focus, okay? So come race day, if you prepared properly, you're going to be feeling fantastic on the start line. Literally, you're going to be jumping out of your skin with energy. So you're going to really have to control that for the first 5k, run at your goal pace, and then speed up for the second 5k. It's very difficult to do, as I said, with the crowd firing you up, other competitors, the thought of a PB, maybe placing on the podium, whatever it is you're going for, is very difficult to do. But if you're confident with that strategy and you're confident you can nail that final 5k, then that is probably the most sensible strategy. So the suicide strategy is the one that you're most likely going to want to go for. Your body, your mind, you're just going to want to hammer it. Okay, the negative split is the one, if you're strict and if you feel you can stick to it, is the one that's most likely on paper to get you that PB. Okay, but the final one, and the one I would recommend, is a completely even pace throughout. Okay, so it might sound a bit boring, a bit clandestine, but whenever I've got my 10k PB, it has been whenever I've knocked time off my PB, it's been either in a triathlon competition where I've already done the swim and the cycle, my legs are tired, or in a half marathon competition. Okay, so my half marathon PB is 1:23:07. I got my 10k PB during that, and I also knocked prior to that, my 10k PB was 38 minutes 21 seconds or something like that, which was done at an Olympic distance triathlon. Okay, so hitting that 10k when already your legs are tired. Okay, so I come off the bike, for example, on an Olympic distance triathlon, and my legs are tired, so I know I have to set a realistic pace. Okay, it's a pace and rhythm that I get into, I settle into within the first mile or two, the first couple of Ks, and I find that rhythm and I just hold it, and I hold it, and I hold it, and I hold it, and I hold it. Okay, and it's a comfortable pace that's right on that threshold. Okay, so it's the exact pace that I want to hold in order to get my goal time. Okay, that is the strategy that really I go for, because it's the strategy I know works and it's the strategy I know I can do. But if it's between the three strategies, then you should either go for the even pace throughout, or you should go for the negative split. Okay, if you're feeling incredibly suicidal, then you go for the suicide pace, and much respect to you if you do it. 10k, it's like I said, it's an endurance distance, but it is short enough for the suicide pace still to pay off. If you're going to half marathon or marathon distance, then the suicide pace quickly becomes or can become quite the disaster. If you hit a suicide pace and it fails, then you can always jog to the end and still get a relatively decent time. Negative split or even pace throughout, though, is what the Steve Kalclash Fitness recommends. Guys, please let me know down below, what are your 10k pacing strategies, what are your 10k PBs, what are your 10k aims, goals, aspirations for 2016. Why don't we all go out there and try and get a 10k PB? As I said before, I'm trying out these skins, skins A400 I think it is, to see if I can get a PB. So I'm going to try and get a 5k PB, a 10k PB in these skins, post being a dad, post being nowhere near as fit as I was prior to being a dad. Can I get a PB in the skins? Can they help at all in my pursuit to get new PBs, even though I'm older and a father these days with barely any sleep? Excuse me, I'm getting too excited. I'm going to get going before I start choking. You know what to do by now. Comments down below. Let me know what your pacing strategies are for 10k. Check out the other pacing strategy videos on Steve Kalclash Fitness. I'm literally about to choke. You guys know what to do by now. Let's keep it rolling.